Hey, what's up, Primetime Nation? This is Coach Skaggs, back here with another special guest. We have University of Southern California head manager Sean Iredell joining us from Los Angeles this morning. Sean, thanks so much for being on with us today.
Yeah, thanks, John. Thanks for having me.
Oh, we're very excited, man. So, Sean, we're going to dive right into it, man. You're head manager at USC. Tell me a little bit about your current role and how long you've been doing it and how did you get this position?
So yeah, for sure. So right now in head manager role, it's kind of just everything you can think of baseball related. Setting up the field for practice, putting tarps out, setting up screens, laundry, equipment, and then my favorite stuff is video and building scouting reports for the coaches. And then also kind of like the big overall thing as head manager is you have to coordinate the schedules of all 12 of your student managers, make sure everyone's there on time and everything gets taken care of. Because at the end of the day, if you don't do it, it's not going to get done. There's very limited paid staff in college baseball, so a lot of it relies on the student workers. So I started my position as head manager last year in the fall. I started working for USC baseball my first semester freshman year, which would be 2 years ago now, two and
Mhm.
a half years ago. And so when I started, I just came on as volunteer. I was doing all the grunt work, laundry, setting up practice on the field, literally everything that no one else wanted to do.
Exactly.
And they saw me working hard enough. And then my second semester became paid. Got into a paid position and started doing more of the video and kind of some of the behind the scenes stuff. And then after that season ended, USC had a historically bad season. All of our coaches got fired. All of our staff got fired, including all the student managers. And with the new staff incoming, I was the only student manager they brought back, and they wanted me to kind of build up the program and kind of redo everything that had been wrong with it. So then starting last year, I was head manager and I built up a new scouting reports department and new video department and kind of changed the workflow there. And then so yeah, over the last year and a half, I've been doing that. And then yeah, that's kind of it when it comes to the position.
I mean, dude, you just listed a lot of stuff
Yeah.
that you do. And that's crazy that you have 12, 11, or 12 people under you as well. Are you finding that, I mean, you got to have some management skills and some organizational skills. I mean, that's not things that we usually think of when we're thinking about jumping onto a baseball field. Have you seen some struggles or, some difficulties as you're going through that process?
Yeah, I mean, the hardest part of your job is the people skills. Like there's 12 people that have 12 different school schedules, and you have to obviously include all the school because school comes first when you're a student worker. And trying to manage all the schedules to get everything done on time. It's tough and like all the personalities, but at the end of the day, it's up to us to get the team some wins, and you want to do everything in your power to get the team wins and not inhibit the coaches at all with anything they need.
Definitely. I know as a head coach myself, the less off the field stuff I had to worry about and the more dealing with the players itself, it makes your life easier and you're able to focus more. Tell me a little bit about this the scouting, kind of how, I'm not asking for details or I don't need other schools here listening in, but tell me a little bit about like what do you do with that and how do you go about that process?
Yeah, so there's two kind of different departments for scouting. So we have our written reports, which is going to just be from me watching video. I'm going to say, hey, this pitcher throws from the 3/4 arm slot, throws arm side run. His curveball's got 12-6 shape. He's going to throw at the side of the plate and kind of just visually what the guys are going to see when they go to the plate. And that's not hard. I think every school does that. But what kind of sets USC apart from the other schools is our use of advanced data. So almost every school in the country, I think 200 of the D1 schools have TrackMan, which
Mhm.
is kind of portable. It's like a radar system that tracks the flight of the ball and gives us advanced analytics on pitchers. And so what we do at USC is we get a login to a portal that has thousands, around 8,000 CSVs, which is kind of like an Excel document of data. And we have our own proprietary programs that will run through the data and build a report out for each pitcher. So it'll take every single row of data that has a listed pitcher's name and give us all kinds of things like the locations they throw on a heat map, the percentage of first pitch strikes, the percentages of ground balls, just so our hitters have a good idea of how they're going to get attacked with what pitches and what counts, and what ultimately the shape of those pitches is going to be.
Jeez. I mean, I was playing and my job was to go in the batter's box, see the ball, hit the ball, and
Yeah.
hope that the pitcher threw it where I was hoping it was going to be. But man, that sounds like some advanced analytics and stuff that's really helping the players at the plate, and I'm assuming the pitchers too, and knowing how to pitch against batters. Now you threw a lot of baseball terminology out. I know you have a baseball background, pride of South Arlington, Wakefield High School. Tell me a little bit about your baseball background before you got to USC.
Yeah, so coming up, I'm an Arlington Little League alum. I won the championship my 12U year. Throwback to Little League. That was fun. I went to Wakefield High School. I was on the varsity team there. I kind of got in right after we had a great group of seniors leaving, and in eighth grade, kind of saw those guys doing a great job. They had a big win against Marshall, which was like our first time in a while. And really wanted our team to be the best in our district, and if not one of the best in the state. So really worked on our first couple of years. I was a varsity starter all 4 years. My first 2 years, our team wasn't very good, only a couple in conference wins. Lost my junior year to COVID, which stunk. But then
Mhm.
senior year came back ready to win. We won the first district championship in school history. I was first team all region. And then on the side for travel, I played at prime time for the whole time. Really fun, played in really competitive tournaments, played with and against multiple D1 commits everywhere from Maryland to Georgia. And it was just really fun to get to do all that in baseball in Northern Virginia.
Now, when you finished, or as you're going through the high school process and your recruiting process with prime time and whatnot, did you have dreams and a goal of playing college baseball? Were you looking certain schools, or were you saying, I strictly want to go to a Division I, and if I get that opportunity, great. If not, that's what I want to do. What was your mindset for college?
Yeah, for me, it was all about academics, and that's kind of like what we push. And I know that's a big thing in Northern Virginia and something that you have to keep in mind, especially with the clientele primetime has, is academics are usually going to come first. And for me, I wanted to go to a Division I school, preferably a top 30 university, and USC obviously accepted me and gave me that opportunity. It would have been a dream to play at USC, but like D1 is very competitive, and I kind of didn't get that opportunity. And there are walk-on opportunities, a lot of schools and fall roster spots. And I know someone from Wakefield personally that got a full roster invite and played for the whole fall and had a great time, even though he didn't make the spring team. And I think looking at those opportunities is always good. For me, it was kind of just like, hey, I'm going to get to the school. I need a job. I would love to work for the baseball team. And I made it happen that way. But yeah.
That's exciting, man. I mean, and it's cool to see that. Look, you had a great baseball career in high school, and you played travel and youth league all the way up, and you still wanted to do baseball, but you kind of realized you had the self-actualization, like, hey, maybe I'm not going to play at the highest level, but then you also saw how can I still be involved in the game? And I really hope some of the listeners out there take that to heart. Like maybe you want to go to some of those big time Power Five D1 schools that you're seeing on TV all the time, but baseball wise, you may not be there are still avenues to do. So that's pretty exciting. Um, you know, Jumping back into your current role as head manager at USC, what are some things that you really enjoy about what you do, and then what are some things that are a little bit difficult?
I think the most enjoyable part of it is just like winning. Like I'm there to win. I only care about winning. I don't care about anything else. I want the guys to succeed too on a personal level because like I'm friends with them. Like I want Eric Hammond to go get drafted this year. He just shoved yesterday against Stanford.
Yes, he
Great
did.
outing for him. But yeah, like I love my favorite thing is when a guy comes out of the bullpen and I see coaches pulling up the scouting report and they're reading it to the players, and then we just go shell them and put 5 runs on them and get him out of the game because I was like, I just did my job and we knew exactly what was coming, and that guy just got destroyed. And so, yeah, that's probably my favorite thing. On the side, traveling's fun. I get to travel with the team all of last year. I went to Auburn, um, went to Arizona for 2 weeks. It's really fun to just get to hang out and explore new cities and see how other programs are kind of running stuff. Um, and then I'd say for the most difficult thing, it's definitely time management. In season, there's no hours limit. You're working 50 hours a week with school, with social life. Trying to balance everything is always tough, but kind of getting to do that and being able to build those time management skills is something I think is going to be invaluable for myself in the future. And I'd say like another tough thing is in my role, I don't have any help. Like nobody knows how to code, nobody knows how to build video. It's all myself. And if I can't figure it out, it's not going to get figured out. So you just kind of got to go in and trial and error and do as much stuff as you can. But yeah, that's kind of the two best things and the tough things working in baseball.
I mean, I think back to my time playing college ball and even in college, I learned a lot, obviously academically, I learned about myself in the game, but time management came down to everything, right? Everything you were talking about, balancing social life, athletics, academics, trying to be able to balance that and still be successful at all of that is tough. Adding in workouts and for you adding in hours and hours of administrative type stuff that you're doing while also managing and leading, it's crazy, man. Look, I got a couple more questions here for you. Obviously, I know you played with us at prime time for years. How would you feel, and how would you see that your time at prime time help prepare you for the role you're doing now?
I mean, it was awesome. Like it was a competitive environment. I remember just showing up with Alex Wood, like one of my best friends. We would go there and just compete against each other for like 2 hours straight, and just the constant banter with other players and coaches, and just like getting them to push you to be the best player you can be. Because it was always like there's always a guy there that's better than you at prime time. There's always that D1 guy, and you're always looking at him in the other cage, him just hitting the crap out of the balls, and you're like, I want to be that guy. And prime time, I think, kind of has a collaborative environment I didn't find anywhere else at any of the other baseball programs I was with, just where everyone wanted to hang out with each other and like prove that they were the best. And that's just something I really loved. Um, and then at the end of the day, prime time gave me the skills to be the on-field manager, because being on field, you have to be able to play baseball. And I was able to do that. I remember one drill, I was being catcher and we had people throwing home to me on like a wheel drill, and the first basemen were throwing home, and those guys can't throw for crap, and I'm having to pick the hell out of balls so our coach doesn't get destroyed by one. And just I don't think any other like people had those skills on the team, so I had to be the manager to go out there with the glove and catch balls from the D1 guys.
Dude, coaches hate getting hit by terrible throws. It just leads to a lot of that. And guys probably ragging on you after practice, dude, catch the ball, let's go. All right. Um, well, dude, that's something we're big on at prime time, right? Is that family atmosphere, that collaborativeness that we do. And I appreciate you saying that. Look, last question I got for you. There are other players, I'm sure, who are going to have similar goals to play Division I college baseball, that it's going to not be a possibility. All right. The reality will kick in where maybe I can't play at the highest level. However, I want to go and enjoy that atmosphere. What advice would you have for any of those players who are looking to maybe pursue something similar to that you're doing?
I would just say reach out. Like there's kind of a community of baseball managers around the country. We're all LinkedIn connected to each other. I've talked with guys from multiple schools, Pepperdine, Auburn, just getting to talk to each other. These guys are all willing to help you go through that process. I remember for me, like I kind of had no idea what to do, how the walk-on process would be, how working for the team would be, and just go on LinkedIn and figure out who the head managers are and send them a LinkedIn message. I talked to Hudson Haley, and he was a former primetime guy I played with in Italy for an MVP trip, who was the head manager at JMU, and we were able to exchange reports and help each other. And it's just kind of like a collaborative environment among the baseball operations community, kind of in a different way than the baseball playing community. Because I'd say the baseball playing community is definitely focused more on competitive, like who's going to win, all this stuff. When we get into operations and management, it's just like, how can we help each other? What, this video trick isn't working for me. What can we do for you? And I mean, just in my time, I've had multiple people help me. John Soteropoulos got me an interview at Driveline. I didn't end up taking it, but he's the hitting coach for Nolan Arenado.
Mm,
And then also one of my managers, just through talking through with the coaches, got a job in the Cape, which is
that's awesome.
Cape Cod Baseball League. Everyone's willing to help you. Please text me. I'll give John my number. John should give you my number. Reach out to him for that, and LinkedIn message me if you guys want. But I'd be happy to talk to anybody about the process and about where you could see yourself in college baseball.